Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
What up, y'all? It's Joe Budden, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. You can get up to 100 times your money.
Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code SPOTIFY. That's code SPOTIFY on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Hello. We're coordinating.
We are. I saw what you were wearing, so I ran and changed all in like 1 minute.
It was very impressive. When we started the Zoom call, it was so fast that I thought I was crazy.
Because
was
you
no.
had walked away, and then I came back and you were still like gone. And so I was like, should I fuck with her or should I tell her the truth?
So thank you, because I was just like, I just automatically assumed I was wrong. I just assumed that I was misremembering.
Yep.
You shout out where you got your sweater from.
My sweater is from M Print. Not I M, but just M Print Boutique.
And you're not related to them at all. There's no there's no favoritism.
No,
None.
I didn't get the Friends, Family, and Fire discount. I've been fired about 12 times.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Don't Blame Me. This is an advice podcast. I'm Megan. My co-host here is Melissa. Hello.
Hi.
We are M&M. You might be wondering, are the iconic chocolate candies based off of you two? Yes, they actually are. Mm-hmm. Which one do you want to be?
I'm the chocolate. You're the candy coated.
Oh. Facts. Facts. Well, this is an advice podcast. We listen to your voicemails. You call in, you tell us what's going on in your lives, and we give you our amazing advice. And if you're new here and you're like, why are these bitches giving me advice? Your guess is as good as mine.
You landed here.
How did you get here?
Let us know. Put it in the comments on the YouTube previews, because we don't really get comments except for
bots, sex bots.
Mm-hmm. Sex bots.
What a type of bot, too. I mean, if you're going to be a bot,
that's
be
the
a
bot
sex
to be.
one. Be a sex one. If you want to call in, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. We ask that if you are 18 years or older, or you get your parents' permission to call in. I do not want your mom yelling at me, or your guardian, whoever is in your life that can sign off on that. We say that, but I'll be honest, I don't know how many people who are under 18 are calling in.
Not anymore. In the beginning, yes. But yeah. I think even those that were in high school then, they're like in college now. Or
inevitably, they did age.
Yeah.
And
I'm timeless, so I don't know.
Facts. Fucking facts. We give all of our advice from our own experiences and our own life and our own opinions. And if you have a different set of opinions, that's totally fine. But people who call into the podcast, nobody calls in before they listen. People know what they're getting themselves into. Mm-hmm. And it all comes from like a place of love, how we talk to our friends. And yeah, can you tell I read some negative reviews of people who are like, they're so mean. No, that's a lie. Megan's so mean. If it wasn't for Melissa, this podcast. Well, we love it. We love our community. And anything else? What's new with you?
Well, this episode is coming out the week of New Year's.
Thank God.
So are you making any resolutions?
Not to die. It's the goal.
Great resolution.
Yeah. Not dying, not killing anybody is another resolution of mine. I hope it'll be easy. So far, knock on wood, hasn't happened yet. what else would my other resolutions be? I don't know. I'll think on it. What about you? Do you have resolutions?
Well, a goal is to sell scripts.
Okay, so that can be one of mine.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
if I sell, then you're coming along because you're attached to all of them anyway.
Well, that's what I mean. So I'm just going to piggyback off of your resolutions, and my resolution list will just say ditto.
Act.
See
Yours
Melissa's
is to
list.
act.
Yes.
And I also want to get out of this fucking pandemic. That's not really a resolution for myself, but for like the US.
We should make some country resolution.
And I'm going to be, I just want to be back on my bad bitch behavior. Like, wear some heels. Leave the house.
I want that too.
Last year, I couldn't complete my resolution. Last year was to be a hoe. So I need that to come back. I mean, that's not going to be till like end of next year because I'm not going to trust anybody till they've been on the vaccine for at least 6 months.
But you can start the person. You don't have to act on it. You can start the internal, and it's like the one that only involves you.
Yes, exactly. I want to say thank you to everyone that listens to the podcast, that has stuck with us through this year, because it's changed a lot. I also want to thank the people that work on this podcast. Shout out to Amanda, who we haven't seen since March.
Was literally thinking about her today, being like, I wonder, I need to reach out. I wonder how she's doing. It's so sad.
I know. So she was our camera person, for anybody that doesn't know. Shout out to Chris, who listens to the show. He does our audio.
Also, sorry,
sweetening.
Chris.
He actually, I forgot that he active, I know that he listens to the show, but I forget that he listens to the show, it's his job to listen, which he's listening right now. But he gave us a very, let me tell you what he said.
Oh my God, does he like us?
Well,
I'm afraid that
I've known him for a long time, so I know that he likes me, right, Chris?
I mean, who doesn't like you?
A lot of people.
Really?
Yes.
You have that vibe. You have the universally everyone wants to be your friend, but they know that you don't want to be their friend.
Everybody wants to be my friend. I don't want to be their friend, and then they pick up on it real quick, and then don't want to be my friend, and then don't like me.
Not their fault that you're better.
He said he was submitting his invoices for last month, and he said, "Here we go into December. Fuck 2020." And then in parentheses, although listening to you and Megan commiserate on the subject has been quite a comfort.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris, thank you. That makes me so happy to hear.
And then my right-hand woman, Katrina, who's always, there.
Katrina!
She's the unseen heart of the show. She creates our graphics. She does the editing. She writes the descriptions. Yeah.
She's the fucking best.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been the fucking best. And she's also, I think, one of the things that's been so, because the people we work with normally are Amanda and Katrina. And Katrina moved back, but for a long period of time, it was all of us. And so I miss the aspect of when we had a guest on that we knew Katrina would love, and we're like, oh my God, we have to tell her where we can see her expression, and I love that kind of shit. Or the fact that Amanda was not only our camera up and doing fantastic stuff, but she was also a built-in laugh track, and always made me know that I was being funny. And I just it's so weird to think that we have it feels like we've been in doing the show this way for so long, yet also that stuff feels like just yesterday. Yeah. And, I miss it. And I appreciate, we are so happy with all the listeners, and especially people who have been in the really great position, and who have been able to become part of be on our Patreon. We really appreciate it. We know it's we know we're not unique in the sense that it's been a tough time for our show. It's also a tough time for people jobs across the world. And so the people who have been able to support our show has been so fantastic. And so we want to thank all of our patrons, and also everyone who just listens and leaves reviews and is in our Facebook group, and the community. I feel like we all have trauma bonded throughout this, and I love it, and we're so grateful for all of you.
We really are.
And yeah, also let us know what your New Year's resolutions are so I can steal some. Because I need some. So we have been starting our episodes with our new favorite fucking part. I guess it's still kind of new. I mean, it's new to me and us.
It's still new. I mean, we're 7 seasons deep. So like.
Oh, that's true. It brings me so much joy. And we're going to get a live update from someone who's been on a previous episode, and they're going to give us the current haps. So, what are you going to tell us who they're from, or they tell us where they're from?
They're going to tell us.
They'll tell us.
My call was actually the title of the podcast, and I was the caller whose boyfriend asked me to fart on him or fart while we were having sex. And I was super thrown off because we've been dating for 5 years and he's never mentioned this before. And long story short, I was like, we had a great conversation and it was pretty in depth over like how it's not really my thing. But I was welcome to new ideas and kind of working through it together. But my call was basically like, what do I do? I'm kind of taken back because this is the first time hearing of it. So I ended up taking your advice, which I should preface with, our first initial conversation was pretty like detailed, and we got into a lot of the topics that you guys had questions about in the podcast. Mm-hmm. So I even said to him, I was like, I want to make sure that I am meeting your needs in every aspect that I can, and that includes sexually. And if I can't do that for you, you can go and find someone else, and that's okay. And if you need to go and explore, which like to a lot of people probably seems crazy, but to me, I'm just like, if you need to go off, and I'm also his first girlfriend. So he's like never experienced things with other people. So I'm like, if you need to go do that, like I'll be here and whatnot. And he was like, oh my gosh, like I would never do that. And I said, okay, that's fine. So let's figure out what we can do with this. Mm-hmm. So Megan, you mentioned you're like, oh my goodness, I have IBS. Well, I do too.
Oh my God. Okay. Relatable.
So like one of the initial thoughts I had was, number one, I can't fart on command. This isn't like, it's just, I just can't. And the second thing is, I would be so afraid that I would shart. Like, like, so I kind of like, we briefly touched upon that for a second. I'm like, you want your girlfriend with IBS to fart? Like, do you know what could happen?
Do you know the risks?
Some people have scat fantasies.
That's what I mean.
Too.
You would have to have that fantasy too, because I can't promise you that I'm not going to give you that accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Oh, and here's the other thing that really threw me off about it was I work in the medical field. And if I'm like on the phone on FaceTime with a coworker and we're talking about a poop story or something, he freaks out. He cannot do any bodily fluids. So I was this whole time.
It's between a rock and a poop place.
That's why when he first told me, I was like super calm and non-judgmental. But at the same time, I go, is he joking? Because like he gets so grossed out by this stuff normally. So in our conversations that we have had, we've now had multiple just to kind of work through it. But it was good because I think the initial conversation was him asking me. I asked my questions, and then that's when I called. And then I didn't say anything for a good 2 weeks. Like we didn't talk about it for a good 2 weeks. And then I listened to your advice and I go, okay, we need to have this conversation again and talk about this a little bit more because he's probably still thinking about it too. And he was. I asked him too, I said, have you like tried watching porn or anything that involves this with it? And he goes, yeah, I did. And it like wasn't great, but it was fine. So it's just kind of, there's like a lot of touch and go. But at the end of the day, the conversation ends up being, I'm not comfortable with it for multiple different reasons. And here's why. If you need to find a way to like, that you feel like this is a need, then you need to go do that and figure it out, because for me, this doesn't work. And he was like, no, I think it was, he goes, this was a very new thing for me. I've never had something like this before. So I think it's something that I'll get over. And I said, well, I don't want you to like try and get over something. You should kind of see where it's coming from and explore it. And he was like, no, like I'll probably stick with it for a little bit, but from here on in, he goes, it's not something I would never pressure you to do anything you didn't want to. And he goes, and I'm not going to go and, lose our relationship over this one thing. And he goes, and regardless, we still have great sex. So, we figured it out. I mean, it's still there every once in a while. If I do fart in front of him, he's like, he looks at me and I'm like, back down.
Wait, I think that's actually kind of cute. Like knowing that he's like not pressuring you at all or anything like that. But like as opposed to like people who feel like they have to hide their farts when they're significant other, like when you do it, it's like there's a winky face on the end. Like, oop, I just farted.
That's true. And I guess it's kind of like an inside joke now that really no one else will know. And be like, okay, I don't know what they're laughing about now, but whatever. So the good thing about it is like going back and opening up this conversation was that we've always had really great communication, but even more so now because it honestly is a pretty uncomfortable subject, especially when there's something new in a relationship after a while. So we are able to go in and have kind of deeper conversations. And we got back on the topic of like, why are we not as sexual as we have in the past? And it really came down to, it's like never been his problem. It's been my problem. And like, I've talked to my doctors about it. I'm like, why do I have a low libido? I just like never want to have sex anymore and this and that. And it came down to me realizing my daddy issues are coming through. Of our 5 years we've been dating, 3 of them have been long distance because I'm in grad school. And what happens is, especially during quarantine, like I didn't see him for 6 months. And then for him to come over, it's a whole process. Like I have to get work off for a few days because I work in healthcare, and he works from home, so he's fine, but he still gets tested and I get tested. And then he's with me for a few weeks. But there was a day that he was like with me for 2 weeks. It was awesome. We had great sex. And then he goes, oh, hey, like so-and-so and I are going to, like one of our friends from college, he goes, so-and-so wants to meet up for lunch with me tomorrow. So I think I'm going to go home tomorrow. And then I completely shut off and shut down. And the next week I had a conversation with him about it. And I was like, I don't know if you realize, but like when we're together, we don't have sex until the 4th day. And I think this is why. And he was like, I have realized that it's always on the 4th day. But if I'm leaving the next day, it doesn't happen. And so he is super awesome. And he is like, whatever you need to do and like work through it. I'll always be here. So to me, he's always been a keeper for me, and he still is. And for, anyone listening, just continually have open conversations and communication, because it just will help build your relationship.
100%. Is he, this is something that I just thought of now. How does he feel about queefing? Because queefing is like a natural, it makes a similar noise. Does it need to come from and also when you queef, it's not like, could he close his eyes and pretend it's coming from your butt? Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's actually a really good point. So I used to queef, actually. Now I haven't.
Really? Like on command. Yeah. I have a friend who queefs, like literally she figured out how to queef on command when we were like teenagers. And she's like, look what I figured out how to do. And it was really funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
That's actually really interesting. I never even thought about that. But he lost his virginity to me. So everything sexually is very new to him. And not anymore, but it was. So like the first time I queefed, he literally looked at me and was like, did you just fart? And like, didn't freak out, but he was like, oh my God, like what,
But this was like gross. 5 years ago, right?
Yeah. And I was like, no, it's a queef. And I like explained it, and he was like, oh, okay. And then he just like got used to it. But
it's a pussy fart.
It's a pussy fart. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to ask him that now and be like, well, what if I learn how to queef on command from
And also,
Megan.
it's just positions. Like, that's really the easiest way to do it. Like, if you have like, if your like butt is up in the, if you're like up in the air enough and it's an angle and he like pulls fully out and then you're like, you're the vagina's up here and your head is down here. Like, you're on this angle and he's pulling fully out and you're like open. And then that's how you get the air in there.
Perfect.
And then it'll happen. And then you stand up and walk, and then they'll just be like, you just like, it's like when you come back from the beach and there's like sand falling out, you just like take it. I literally make, like, I laugh every fucking time where I'm walking and I'm like, I'm just getting my queefs out. So sorry.
And I feel like there's no sharding. There's no
right.
sharding.
This sounds like the solution.
Truthfully, I think the queefing thing is the smartest thing I've ever said. I think if you, I think if you think all of the things I've said on the podcast, who cares? Anything I've ripped off from my therapist? No, I think this is actually the smartest thing I've ever said in my life. Should have been my college essay. Why queefing is comparable to farting. Queefing is the fart of the pussy, and therefore,
you know, that trend of people making stupid slideshows with their friends. You should do it.
Monts has been begging for us to do one. He wanted to do one so bad. I love it.
Don't tell him.
No, I won't.
Hello, Megan and Melissa. I'm calling because my boyfriend has a young sugar mama. I don't know how to feel or what I should do. I'm a 22-year-old Aquarius. I've known my 21-year-old Aquarius boyfriend for over 2 years, but we've only been together for a little over 6 months. He's my first relationship, and it's amazing. It's everything I wanted, and he's my best friend. But a couple months ago, we were just talking, and the topic of sugar babies came up. He told me that he had a girl that he used to work with that would give him money. He also said that she liked him a lot, but she had a boyfriend. She's also 21. He was very open about the conversation and answered all my questions. He said that he hadn't gotten money from her in a while. Well, the other day, I was looking at his phone and noticed a name I didn't recognize on his text messages. When I looked through them, I realized it was that girl. The conversation wasn't flirty, and he did mention me in the messages, so I'm not worried about anything going on there. But she's been giving him money for the past month. It ranged from $50 to $150. In my eyes, that's kind of a lot. I don't know if that is to other people. He also asked her for a $200 monthly allowance. This whole thing makes me feel very uncomfortable. I feel like he's using the girl for money. I feel bad for her. I know if I confront him about it, he will think that I don't trust him and wonder why I was looking through his messages. Well, I do trust him. It's just, I'm curious. I just want to know. I feel like everyone does that. But the big problem is that I pay for 60% of our stuff. When we go out to eat, I pay for that. Which at first I didn't mind because I don't pay a lot in bills. I don't pay rent. I live at home. But he pays a lot more than I do. He helps his family out too. But now I don't know. But now I know he's been getting money, which makes me mad. I don't know if he's embarrassed because he doesn't have enough money. I feel bad for the girl. I don't know if I should feel bad for her because she's willingly giving him money. But it just makes me feel weird because she's 21, like younger than me. How should I confront him about it? I know you guys will like tell me the right way because I don't know. I feel like he'll just get upset that he knows, like, that I went through his phone. But I've been listening to you guys forever. I love you guys. Please give me advice. You can go as harsh as you want, or you can just do whatever. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.
I love that Aquarius energy.
If she hadn't even told us, I would have been like 100%.
Okay. So, first of all, kudos to this sugar mama for like having, like, usually sugar mama like goes younger and he's like the same age. So she's on her shit.
She's powerful.
Yeah. Second, you shouldn't feel bad for her at all because she's willingly doing this. Like, this is her thing. This is what she wants to do. It's not, you shouldn't feel bad or embarrassed or anything for her.
People who we have, I think, I don't know which episode, we might have talked about it in multiple ones that she's been on, but Kelsey Dare, we've talked about it, with her on this, that like fin doms or financial dominance or like sugar, all of that kind of stuff. I think it gets looked at not in a sexual way when it is sex work. Like it truly is sex work. And it doesn't necessarily mean that there are, I mean, I'll be most of the time in a lot, even like, Kelsey said this, that like, it's very, very hard to find someone who like the only thing that gets them, that there isn't anything else sexual attached to it, but that it being able to provide for someone, think of it like how I get off giving a blowjob. It's that same sort of feeling. It's not like, I feel bad, this person's being taken advantage of. Like, no, they are turned on by asserting financial dominance or giving someone money. That turns them on. Like that's what it is. So like there's no need to feel bad for her at all, because if it was, he's not the being like a sugar baby is, I mean, first of all, it's a career, like it's a full blown career, but it's the origin of it is because there's a demand. There are people who want to, and just because like she is younger and she is like a woman, I think if it was, if it was like switched and like the ages and the genders were switched, it would feel more quote unquote normal. But there's nothing like, it happens in every sort of, there's lots of like powerful women and also women just who have money. Who cares where I think that I don't see any issue with that as like a whole. And I would say like you feeling uncomfortable that like you are paying for more stuff in the relationship. I think I feel like for you would, if he hadn't like lied and said that like...
That's what you should be mad at.
Yeah. And I think that's what you are mad about. But I think that like it's just manifesting it in these different ways because it is kind of it is a different situation. And we kind of assume that that's probably like, that's probably why I feel uncomfortable. Like I feel weird about the situation. I think if he hadn't, because you know that he is paying for family and all that kind of stuff. And I think if you already know that. And I think if you know that the money that he is getting is also helping out, and that's why he's not contributing more to you guys, because it's not like fun money, quote unquote. It's stuff that's like helping him keep his like family afloat and support his family. But yeah, going through anyone's phone, you knew. I want to know though. So I'm assuming based on how you worded it, her name... Either, maybe he didn't tell you her name to begin with, or her name was under like a code name in his phone because you scrolled and then you figured out who it was. You
figured it out, yep.
Because if it was a code name, I think that's probably also making you more nervous and then feeling guilty because she really likes him, blah, blah, blah. I think
Do you want him to know that you've been looking in his phone is the first question you should ask yourself, because that's the only way that you're going to get down to the truth, because he's already lied to you. Yeah, you guys had a full conversation, and all he had to say in this conversation is that she's still giving me money, and he didn't. He said that he hasn't got money from her in a while, and that was a bold-faced lie. And he's asking for more money. So that's like the part of it that I wouldn't trust. He's lied to you.
No, 100%. And it also really doesn't, why someone's intentions behind what they do doesn't negate how you feel about it. Like it's like if you made him lying, whether he was like lied for a good reason or not, you can look at it and say like, see like, oh, well, he lied because he's embarrassed. Like, that's fine. Like you can recognize that and still not be okay with it. Like you're allowed to understand someone's motive and why they might feel a certain way. And that doesn't have to like, that doesn't mean that you have to feel okay with it or change how you feel about it at all. It's something to consider. But I wonder. I would wonder the selective. I think it's always so fucking frustrating too. The selective truth, where he tells you it in the past tense and it's in the present tense, and so it becomes something like he kind of gauges your reaction. And then is like, okay, and then doesn't really like let you know what else is going on. But the only way that you can get to the bottom of this, like you said, you only know this information from looking through his phone. So there's no other way for you to obtain this information. So you have two options. Either there's one that I think you should take, and I will tell you. You have two options. Either you are upfront and honest and you say, hey, I did something I'm not proud of. I went through your phone and point blank, I shouldn't have done that. I really apologize. I invaded your personal space and your personal boundaries, and that's on me. And that's not something I should have done. And I deeply regret doing that. In doing that, I found something that makes me feel uncomfortable and I'm a little confused by, because it goes against what we've talked about. But I wanted to be really honest with you. I'm not happy at all that how I found this out, but I'm not able to kind of just move on knowing this. And I shouldn't have looked through your phone, and I really apologize for this, but I really need to have a conversation about this. Or you can strategize something where you're sitting next to him and you say oh, my friend, or I texted you or something, let me see something. And then the text messages and you're oh, who's that person? And you can, and then you discover it with him. But
you're
in
also,
doing that,
you're lying. Yep.
Yeah. And you're not giving him, when you want someone to be truthful with you, you have to just show by example. And so I've fucking done that before, where I've 100% fucking snooped and found out someone's lying about something. And I'm well, I'm not going to try and get the truth out of you by lying to you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you that I trust you enough to lie to you, that to be honest with you and say blah, blah, blah. And then you can do the same. But it's really fucking hard to expect people to be truthful with you when you're not being truthful with them. And when you also telling someone that you've done something that you're not proud of and you're was wrong and you're embarrassed by, also shows I respect you enough to tell you this and to give you to give you the ability to do with this information what you want. I'm not going to withhold this, and then if you don't want to be with me because I've done that, that's your right. I'm giving you full, I don't know, whatever, giving you the reins on this situation. And I also trust our relationship enough to know that honesty is only going to bring us closer together, and I have nothing to gain from lying to you. Mm-hmm. And leading by example, I think, is the best thing that you can do. But also, when doing that, just owning the fact that it wasn't okay to go through his phone and you regret that. And if he defaults to that and that becomes the issue and it's not being talked about what you found, because this is the thing, when you snoop, you're going to find something. And so you have to apologize for looking through the phone. But if it's worth it to bring it up to a person, they are comparable crimes. So if he's going to then turn it on you, that's not a good sign. And that's also indicator of, oh, there's more that I don't know, and you're trying to gaslight me so then I don't find out what the rest of it is. Because it's kind of, you're on an even playing field when you do that. When you admit your own fault, what you did when you snoop, and then you find you're even playing field. But if he makes it feel like what you did was worse, snip, snip.
Time to go, baby.
Time to go. But also, I would also say too, if he has talked to his sugar mama about you before, if you guys get to a point where this is you guys are working through this and it's fine, I would ask him if it's comfortable if you can have a conversation with her, because she knows about you. So a lot of the time in those relationships, you keep you keep the mystery of that alive because it adds to it. But she clearly is okay. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that might ease your anxiety or stress, worrying about him hurting her or something like that. And you can also, suss out that situation that way if they're both comfortable.
Yeah.
But let him get his bag, but don't let him lie.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Call
Get your
him
bag,
out.
but don't lie about it.
Yeah. I would, just talk to him, see if he is truthful with you. If he continues to lie, get out.
And it doesn't matter why he's lying.
No.
If he's embarrassed or anything like that, if you can show him that, hey, I just need the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But some people, they can't. Some people have a really hard time telling the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
I thought you were going to say that. And you can't control that. And that's something that they have to like work. That's a therapy thing. Mm-hmm. Compulsive lying as an adult is like it's a hard thing to grow out of and work on, but it's also not your responsibility to be a truth seeker. Well, right. I would love to know what happens.
Please call back.
And if anyone who has, we've got like sex workers who listen to our show, but if anyone who specifically does like findom or sugar babying stuff, that I guess like sexual or not, this doesn't, I don't think, I mean, we would love to hear from those that like, because I'm just regurgitating from someone I know. We would love to hear from you.
Please.
Hey, Megan and Melissa. So I just recently turned 20, and I also just recently entered into my first relationship. We've been seeing each other for about a month and a half, but we just became like official a couple weeks ago. And it's going really great. I feel like I'm pretty like jaded by guys. Like I don't know why, but I really, really like him. And presumably he really likes me too. So it's going great. The only thing that I'm kind of tripping about is one of his like friends that are girls like requested to follow me on Instagram, and I thought it was his cousin at first because he has a bunch of cousins. And I asked him like, oh, who's this? And he was like, oh, that's my friend from college. And the only reason why I'm kind of like tripped up about it is because she looks somewhat similar to me. She's a ginger, and that is like very much his type. And, they also seem just pretty close because he told her about me and then she requested to follow me on Instagram. So they seem pretty close. And like when I was in his car, like his Apple CarPlay thing came up and it shows like, who you texted most recently, and like she was on there. So they seem pretty close. And also on her Instagram feed, she had a picture from way back when of them going to like a college dance together. So I haven't like asked him like if they ever dated or whatever, or if he had feelings for her. I mean, it's hard to believe he wouldn't, considering like she's exactly his type and they clearly get along well. I just don't know how to bring it up. Like, I feel weird because she just looks really similar to me, and I just hope that there's not some weird like counter-transference thing going on. I feel like it's bothering me, and I'm feeling like jealous. But I don't know if that's just like my insecurity speaking, and I don't know if I'm overreacting or just how to bring it up. So yeah, if you guys have any advice on like a way for me to bring this up, that'd be great. I do feel really comfortable around him, like fully. I just don't want to sound like jealous or anything. So yeah, any advice would be appreciated. Thank you.
This is sus as fuck. I think this is sus as fuck.
Yeah, I don't think you're jealous. I think you're cautiously like looking into something as you should.
I think you're seeing something that's clearly fucking black and white or ginger and ginger. I think you're seeing something that is like apparently like this is, I'm not even seeing this girl and hearing you say this, and you're also probably downplaying that like how much you guys like look alike, because it's hard when you personally look like someone, you don't see it as much. I don't even have the visual, and I know you're not fucking crazy, and I know you're not being jealous. This is just like, it is too big of a coincidence. And I would say, does he have other female friends? because, I mean,
what if they're all gingers? He just wants to be surrounded by gingers. As Told by Ginger is his favorite TV show.
And just that sounds like there's an end game of an orgy and like him just in the middle. But no, because if he has, I think I maybe, I'm not even saying that you need to do this at all, but I think it depends on like your comfort level before like bringing it up to him. Does he have like a lot of other female friends who, because you're right in the sense that the only difference between our friends we're not sexually attracted to them. Mm-hmm. And when you get along really well personality wise with somebody, that sexual attraction is the only fucking difference. Like that's all there is to it. And if you look like her, like they obviously get along, they obviously talk all the time. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, no, that's a lie. I think she added you because I would add you. And you know me, because you listen, I would add you to be petty. I would. Like, if I was like, if we were like, I don't know, on again, off again, or I don't know what their circumstance or situation is, it's a power move. I've done that to like, not people in like this circumstance, but I've done it to like people like my friends have like dated. Like I think I had Sydney's boyfriend on like Facebook, like before I ever met him, just be like, I'm just showing you who's fucking boss. What's up, dude? I was like a co-star, adding someone on co-star. Like it's a power move. And especially because you don't know her. And like, there's no, and there's just a boundary in territory. I would never request to follow anyone Leo is dating until I've met them and like can hi, I am not like we are friends. Just to make, do you know what I mean? Like there's just a way you go about it if you're trying not to look like a shitty.
Also, since she requested you, that means that your profile is private, which even more like of a power move. Because that means like
you know. I have done that before. I love it though. I think that's a very fun power trip when someone's private and you're requesting them just to be like, I see you, and then they're like,
but she also might just be like a really nice person. Just to give the other side for this, like, what if she, like, they're just friends and she's super nice and she's like not into him at all. Maybe he might have had like they might have had a little crush at some point, but they decided, we're just better as friends. And she's like, this is my best friend and I want to see who this girl is that he's dating because I need to check her out to see if she's good enough for him.
I think that's totally possible. I think there a 50-50 chance that was her motive behind it. It just missed the mark because she has photos of him and her together. Like there should have been. I think there kind of needs to be even like, I don't know, in that kind of like power move or whatever. I would never do that to another, like I'm saying that I've done that before to like friends, boyfriends. I would never do that to another woman. Like I would never do that in a way that like comes across that, hey, like I call the shots around here, or like he needs my approval, or like that kind of thing. Like, will I have conversations with like my guy friends who are like, I need you to meet this girl, and like if you don't like her, I'm fucking out. Like I trust you, but I'm never going to do that because like that's such an uncomfortable position to be in. And requesting you without sending a message or him saying, hey, like so and so has like. It just is too eerie. If you look alike and too like, it's just one of those things that I'm like, they need to address the elephant in the room. Like that should be something that is stated or said. So it's not, because here's the thing, when I would rather someone be like overly cautious in telling me something versus then when I see like a picture of them at formal together and she looks weirdly like me and I'm like, well, that feels something like odd that is pretty easily misinterpreted. So if it wasn't, I would assume that either one of these parties would have like given me a heads up. But I don't know how much you've heard about this girl. I think that's also like a question too. Because yeah, I mean, in these situations, I really feel for you because it's a really hard position to be in because you do wonder if you're feeling like jealous or you're being crazy or whatever, anything like that. But it's also, it does take some effort and some thought process for the other two parties to make sure that you're comfortable and make sure whoever they're dating, like when you have like, when it is kind of like glaringly something you would think is pretty obvious that they definitely would have gotten together or whatever, there is a way to like respect each other's like relationships, even as a friend or anything like that. I think there's just a way to make you feel, and also like you haven't been even dating that long. And like there's nothing that gives me more anxiety than like dating someone and meeting their friend group and they're all like so fucking tight and like so close. And you just feel, I hate feeling like an outsider in anything, but especially with that kind of stuff, you don't really feel like you have anyone in your corner and you don't really feel like you have and you do, but like that you don't want to like ruffle any feathers of people who've been there before you. And I just think that like, it's just such like a yucky thing that people do when they don't make other people feel included and like wanted in a situation. And if there were really great, like nice, wholesome intentions behind this, I think she should have just gone about it in a different way. And I honestly don't even fault, I mean, it's me. I'm automatically assuming it's the boy's fault, but like, who knows? Do you know what I mean? Like she might have assumed that he had told you that like, you had heard all about her and like they went to formal together and like, oh, they hooked up once, but they were not into each other at all anymore. And like, they're now like blah, 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 like a whole backstory, but you don't have that. So she might be going into this thinking that, you know what I mean? That you're all on the same like page and you're not, but the only person that you can talk to and the only person who actually owes you anything in this is him. I also take back what I said about her doing this as a power move. I do, now that I've said the second option, which is her, I think that they definitely had something. And I think she thinks that, and I think that her requesting, like you said, is her disarming herself and like getting to know you to show that she's not a threat. But I don't think that all the other stuff. So I think that's what it is. Yeah. I don't think it was an intentional power move now. So I take that back.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a combo with him.
All right, guys, we are going to take a break, listen to the ad, and then we'll be right back. All right, we are back.
Again, tell a friend about our podcast.
Hi, Megan and Melissa. I'm going to get straight to the point. So how do you break up with someone when they are financially dependent on you, need you for a home, need you for a car, basically need you for everything? How are you supposed to break up with someone like that? A little bit of specifics. I'm 23. My boyfriend is 22. We are both Scorpios. We're opposite end Scorpios. I'm like first day Scorpio and he's like one of the last days of Scorpio. I already know. Not a great start. So we have been officially together for like 2 years, but there was a good 3 years before that where like we met in high school. He took my virginity. And then for like 3 years, I was just super obsessed with him and we would just have sex in secret and he would be super fuckboy, manipulative and mean to me. And like, that was just a whole incident. At one point, I even spent like a week in a mental hospital because of dealing with all those things. So already relationship wasn't great. Everybody already told me not to do it and it was horrible. And then a couple of years in, all this stuff happens in his life where he gets fired from his job. He gets his car repossessed. And then his mom lives in a studio apartment and he has to stay on the couch in her studio. And during that time is when...
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
He finally decided to settle down, stop fucking everyone else in the world, and then fuck me in secret and be like, actually, gonna be your boyfriend now. So then very quickly, within like 3 months of us actually starting to date, we moved out together. He got a job where I have a job so that we could just share my car. It's been 2 years and we still share my car, even though we work at different jobs now. Like, I work a night shift job specifically so that he can use my car. Okay, but that's kind of getting off track. I have tried to break up with him twice in this year. I tried to break up with him back in December, and he had a full breakdown and told me that I should just drop him off at the homeless shelter, give his dog back to the shelter, that I can sell all his stuff, that he was going to die without me. He has nowhere to live. He can't go stay with his mom anymore because they have issues. And basically, yeah, just guilt tripped me, and then we ended up sleeping together and then staying together. And then moving to a new place, but now I'm the only one on this lease because of COVID. He didn't have a job and he had bad credit. So I'm the only one on this lease now until the end of the year. And I still I still want to break up with him. And now I feel horrible, like, leading him on because he obviously can tell that something is wrong, but I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do for the rest of the time of our lease. If I try to break up with him, I don't know where he'll go. Or if we do and then he leaves, I'm not positive how I'll pay for rent. I don't know. Girl, just help me out. Bye.
This boy is being so manipulative and abusive towards you. And he's using all that to keep you, like, in place so that you can provide for him on a financial level. Like, you're basically his parent at this point. You're taking care of him. You provide him with food, clothing, shelter. You're there for him. He's using you.
There's a reason why he was a fuckboy for so long and then his life went to shit and he was ready to settle down. Mm-hmm. And there's also a reason why when you told him that you wanted to break up, his reaction wasn't about his feelings for you. His reactions were, well, what about these things that you provide me? I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming this is still the same kind of thing, but I know of financial abuse in a sense of someone who has...
They keep it.
They gatekeep the money and they're the ones who have the power and the money and they use their money to assert power over people. But I would fully assume that also can be in the reverse and someone who can be abusive in regards to like someone else's money. Because that's what it fully is that. Like, it's not like him convincing you, like he's gaslighting you and manipulating you. Like, it's so supremely fucked up. And you don't... what you gave him was so beyond generous, and just because you do something for someone at some point, that thing is not permanent. That thing does not. That is not the new expectation or the new level of it. And you taking that away isn't a bait and switch or leading him on at all. I was comfortable doing this at that point. I am no longer comfortable doing this. And you have no right to demand or expect that of me, because nobody would expect that. Mm-hmm. That should have been like oh my God, wow, that's like, of course, like that, of course, like that's so unbelievably kind of you. Like, yeah, that's just...
No, like he's been manipulating you from the very beginning.
From high school.
He's never respected you ever, and he's never going to respect you. He knew that he could take advantage of you when you were in high school. He kept everything secret. He said and did things to you that put you in a mental institute for a certain period of time. Everyone in your life is telling you, like, he needs to be out of your life. You shouldn't settle down with him, be in a relationship with you. He only decided to be with you because he lost everything else. And then even then, he's still like manipulating you and using you and taking advantage of you and disrespecting you 1000%. if he needs to go to a homeless shelter, then that's what happens. But he does not need to be in your life anymore. You're better than this. You deserve better. Get out.
And there's someone who is literally like on the fucking other side of the fucking rainbow. There's someone on the other, like right fucking beyond him. There is someone else. And when you get and you guys have been like, this has been, like you said, this has been for so long and you've gotten so used to this. And especially when in those like formative teenage years, like that's what develops of what we're used to.
Especially when he was the first guy you've ever been with.
And like that is, you're not going to come across this again. And this is not, I hate to say like this is not normal or whatever, but like this is not what you should ever expect in a relationship. And that's no knock to you for being in this situation because this shit happens. Mm-hmm. We've all been in bad relationships and like we don't let people quote unquote treat us badly. People will treat us badly. We don't have a say in how other people treat us. We have a say in how we respond to that. And then being like, okay, I can't control how you spoke to me in this time period because I've grown and I've learned and now I acknowledge that that's not something that's okay. So while I can't change that or change you, I can really focus on me and make sure that I am vetting someone who I date again that is different than this. And I have something to look out for in regards to these kinds of things. And so there is someone who is so much fucking out there who is so much fucking better for you. And his responsibility is like, you are not responsible for him the same way that he is not responsible for you. And I don't think you think that he's responsible for you, but because you've been in this caretaker position for so long, you feel a sense that you need to provide for him out of obligation, not because you want to or because you care for him and like he is grateful and this is something that like makes you feel this is something that you want to do. It's because you feel obligated to do this. And just because like first of all, when someone says to me like, oh, I tried to break up with my partner and they wouldn't let me, I'm like, that's the biggest red flag in the world. That gets into a like abusive territory. What
he's 100%
exactly.
abusive.
And like that gets into a point where I'm like, if you're not going to let me do something, if I don't have the say to say, I want to walk away from this relationship, you say no. That's like you're holding me hostage. Mm-hmm. That is so scary. And that's like such a huge, huge, huge red flag. And I think like people say things in the heat of the moment and like definitely, but like if someone says something like that needs to be like a wow, that was really fucked up. I need to go to therapy. I need to work on my own shit. Like feel free if you like, I take it like that was like, but this is what you've been conditioned to kind of be. And even if he like says that he didn't mean that, we know that this is his pattern and like how he's been treating you over all these years. And it's really not your responsibility. It's not. And it's just not. If he has to go, like you said, if he has to go to a homeless shelter, he goes to a homeless shelter. If he has to rekindle his relationship with his mom and stay there, he stay there. If he has to find a friend to stay with, he stays there. If he needs to move to where a family member is that he has a relationship with, he can do that. But it's not it is not your responsibility to provide for him. You are not his parent, and therefore you have to take care of yourself. And that's not at the expense of him at all. Mm-hmm. And I hate him.
I hate him so much.
I hate him. And I can't imagine I can't even imagine what he fucking put you through to have you be institutionalized for a bit. And then what fucking psychological warfare he must have had to fucking do to maintain his place in your life after all of that. Mm-hmm. That's, it's awful. It's fucking awful. If I ever got like, fuck God forbid, my behavior led someone to that, I would be like, I am horrible for you. I will not be able to live with myself. Like I need to remove myself from this situation.
So the hotline.org is a website you can go to with more information and they can help like facilitate you getting to safety. So, and we can put the link in the show notes as well.
And I think you did mention that you weren't sure how you were going to pay. Didn't you say like wasn't sure how he was going to pay for his rent if he's gone?
I think he said that, but he also said that his lease ends at the end of the year. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. That I also think it might be just emotionally and psychologically a great fresh start for you. And also then won't know where you live, and maybe, you know, move in with a good friend and someone who is like, or move in with like a family member, like move in with someone who knows the situation and everything. And also, if you move into a new apartment, don't feel like weird at all talking to like whether it's like a building manager or like any like a neighbor or anything like that, and just like letting them know like, hey, I had a situation with someone I used to date. Just want to show you a picture of them, and if you see them, here's my number, if you could please like call me, and or anything like that. And I've done that before, and people are so nice and so helpful, and people just want to look out for other people, especially in apartments, because you have so many people from like every different age range and all of that kind of stuff, and people get it. So I would really encourage you to be overly cautious in this situation.
Yeah.
I hate him. Oh, I hate him.
But I wish the best for you.
Yeah. I know you're going to have like the best fucking relationship after. Like, I just know it. And I have a feeling if you're not in therapy, I just have a feeling you'll have a great therapist and you'll love your therapist, and like, it'll just be like a wonderful, you're about to become, not that you're not a butterfly right now, but like you're about to be like an even bigger butterfly. I don't like butterflies, but I like you. So I probably should have picked something better. But you know what I mean? Like, what? You didn't know I didn't like butterflies?
I know that you don't like butterflies. I just think it's weird not to
have
like
you seen that SpongeBob episode where they zoom into a butter? Oh, I hated it. There's a bunch of Gen Zers and millennials like who just hate butterflies just from that episode. But ugh. I hate him. Okay, let's play the next one.
Hey, Megan and Melissa. I'm 21 and I have been living with my boyfriend for about a year now. And we actually just bought a house in April. We have 2 cats and a dog, and I love my cats like my children. They are literally my therapy animals. But the dog, on the other hand, is a nightmare. He is 12 years old and has no health issues. He's been to the vet within the last month to rule any health issues out, so he's good. But this dog pees on my carpet, on my couch, on my bed, on my clothes. He eats my clothes sometimes too. He has bitten me and drawn blood 4 times. My boyfriend was extremely upset about that in the moment, but he acts like it doesn't happen now. The dog is 50 pounds and comes up to my thigh. Just for reference, I'm 5'1". I'm past the point of trying to train him. I've watched every YouTube video, and I've even paid for an online class. I'm paying for everything, by the way. I pay for his treats, his food, his toys, his vet bills. All of that is on me. I know telling my boyfriend that I want his dog gone is going to hurt him. But if I have to wash my couch cushions one more time, I think I'm going to have a fucking brain aneurysm. Oh, and the dog does this in front of you, by the way. It's not like a put him in another room when you're gone sort of situation. Get a baby cage. We have done both of those things. But he will straight up look you in the eye and then pee on the floor. So I really just need help on how to tell my boyfriend that I hate his dog. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Why are you paying for everything? I need to know that. Because that paired with the fact that you keep saying my couch, my carpet, thought you guys got a house together.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's
how you guys split the bills. Or
yeah, like
what?
if you paid for these kinds of things, but at the same time, if you pay for stuff and then he pay, it should even out. So then it being your couch, it just gets into a little bit of a tricky situation. You guys haven't lived together for that long, so I will say that. But
they own a house together.
Yeah,
so.
But when you start thinking of things in your home that are shared things as yours, that is not, I mean, this is a big fucking learning curve for Monts and I in our relationship. And it took a while, like, because he did move into my apartment and like a lot of stuff that I bought, and like prior to him moving in or things like that. And so, but he's been like, we've been living together for so long that like everything is ours now. And
with something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
And I know for a fact that like when I saw things as mine, that made him feel unwelcome. And like it didn't make him feel like it was also his home. And not to get like dog psychotherapy on this, but I wonder if the dog is feeling that. Like if the dog is feeling like, I'm not wanted here. This is not my home. This is not like my couch and my, like, do you know what I mean? Like in a way that like, usually when animals like are peeing on things and like stuff like that, it's asserting dominance or there's some, you know what I mean? There's like some issues there. And also pets really reflect their owners. So I know it's like, how do I tell my boyfriend I hate his dog? First of all, don't say that. But I think and people hate when I do this. And it's like, well, that's not what she asked about. I say people, like the 4 people who like leave negative comments. I would like, why are you paying for, because you're essentially, you're paying for something. You're paying for a dog who is treating you shitty. So why are you paying for the dog? Like, I don't think the issue is, I don't know. I think there's something else here.
Yeah, I think there's something else here. I also think that how can your boyfriend not see that the dog is peeing on everything, even if he acts like the biting isn't happening anymore, which is fucking ridiculous. But there's pee on the couch, there's pee in the carpet, there's pee on your clothes. This is kind of like the driveway. There's pee every fucking where. Like how, and was this dog acting like this before you guys moved in? Or is this a new learned behavior or a new behavior because you're in a new place, a new, like it's a new dynamic with the cats, like the dogs with 2 cats that it wasn't living with before, with a new person that they weren't living with before,
or like a smaller yard, like something
in
like
a
that.
new house. Like there's a lot of new things, and so I know that you said you paid for the training, but like virtual training isn't the same as in-person training, because there's people that train dogs have this like special gift to them that they're able to communicate with them. And I don't think doing it through a camera or through a camera is going to give the proper training that the dog needs.
Yeah, I think that this, the fact that your boyfriend is pretending that the dog, like he's mad in the moment, but then like the fact that he's not, I think the issue here is your boyfriend not taking any initiative. You shouldn't have to be the one who's being like, hey, your dog has like bit me all of these times. And like, you're at the end of your rope because he hasn't done anything. And that's not okay, because all he's doing in that situation is basically being like, okay, it's fine. And so that's why I wonder if like he doesn't, that he feels like it's kind of transference that it's like, it's the dog
problem.
Yeah. And like the kind of stuff that like the dog, like he feels like the dog is, I mean, not necessarily justified in it, but like there's a part of him that like maybe feels that way, or he just doesn't care. And
that's
I think
what it seems like to me. He just doesn't care. Like it doesn't if the dog was doing all this stuff before, like he's just used to it and it doesn't bother him and he does not care.
And that to me is like, that's I think that's a not get rid of the dog issue. I think that's get rid of the boyfriend issue who happens to have the dog because like, and I get that you guys live together. So like when I say that, I'm not saying like, I think it's, you have to address the relationship with him because you shouldn't even be in this position to begin with. And I think that if this is how he is with the dog, this isn't like an isolated incident. Do you know what I mean? Like this is kind of something I'm like, if he did like, what? Like, why are you not caring about my stuff or like, and our stuff? Like it just, I think if you just get, I don't think the problems will be solved when the dog is gone. I think this is kind of, yeah, it's just an issue. It's time for Don't Blame Them. Don't Blame Them is where a listener calls in with their own advice from a previous episode. So if they had personal experience or they just had a revelation. Look at me, I'm growing and changing. I didn't say relevation. And they want to give their own take on it. I also love this. I think this is an underrated part of the show.
I do too. All right. So this is from season 6, episode 26. I'll just let them take it away. They have a lot to say.
Hi, team. I am 28 years old. I'm a Gemini, perhaps more importantly, Enneagram 6, Wing 7. And this is a Don't Blame Them. I wanted to respond to the caller from November 23rd episode who wanted advice on how to tell her family that she would not be coming home for Christmas. Megan had mentioned something about cult-deprogramming, and I just wanted to speak from my own experience and affirm anybody who's wanting to tell their parents no, their families no, and are navigating feelings of guilt. So over the last few years in weekly therapy, I've come to understand that I was brainwashed by a family member and essentially grew up in a cult-like environment surrounding spirituality, not in my immediate family, but my extended family. It's taken a lot of work to unlearn what I grew up believing, what I was programmed to believe, and to work through the PTSD and fear that comes with trying to break that cycle and to begin trusting my own instinct and make my own decisions. Based on what I've worked through the last few years, I'm seeing a lot of parallels with the cult of Trumpism and with more liberal family members trying to contend with that. Around my own trauma, I've had to cut particular family members completely out of my life. And once I identified where the manipulation was coming from, I asked my immediate family not to talk to them about me and vice versa. This was very uncomfortable, but it's made me so much stronger and happier and freer. In terms of Christmas, my sibling recently had their second child, and as much as I want to see the baby, and as much as I don't want to spend Christmas alone, literally by myself, I've made the decision to stay where I am for the holidays. My sister and her husband don't wear masks and are not taking isolation as serious as I have been the last 8 months. And while I've worked to set boundaries around our politics and would have been able to handle that, pandemic notwithstanding, there's no way I feel comfortable visiting them for Christmas with COVID. I'm still having trouble finding the courage to tell her I won't be coming, even though the CDC is literally requesting that people do not travel or visit family. I just wanted to speak power to people who are in the same place as the original caller, because setting these kinds of boundaries with family members takes work. And learning to trust your gut and stand your ground, especially if you have no practice setting limits with family, it can feel so scary and it can make you feel really guilty. I'm just calling to say that anyone who is deciding to stay home, you're doing the right thing. And your relationship with your family will be better in the long run because you let them know who you are and what you stand for. This will not be the last time in your life that you will have to make a decision that's good for your well-being that causes your family discomfort. And like Megan said, you're not responsible for taking care of how your family feels about your decision. You can only own what's yours, and they have to own what's theirs. And that's all I have to say. I love the podcast.
We have a therapized bitch here.
You can hear it in her voice.
I'm like, you should be like, I feel like I just got out of therapy. Like that is, you're so right. And you're I'm so glad that we have someone who is going through this and been through this. And I would also really recommend, our Facebook group is open again now. And join. Like if you don't have like financial means to join Patreon, and we talk about how we do live streams twice a month on Patreon, which are really, really fun and really great for all of us, but especially people who are isolating alone and like are spending the holidays alone. It's been so nice and fun. But if you're not financially able to do that, please join our Facebook group. I swear you just binge a bunch of episodes and then you'll be able to get in. I would just really encourage anyone who's feeling kind of like lost and like alone during this time to like, we have such a we love our fucking community and love our listeners so much. And it makes us so proud. And it makes me feel so good to just, we've cultivated a group of people who it's so amazing to see other people care about other people. And it's, for anyone who is wanting, I really would just encourage people to join and find other ways. And even if it's not joining our Facebook group, like scheduling things with your friends and scheduling things with family and doing all of that stuff. And I think we can get kind of negative, and which we have every right to feel. We feel negative, feel however the fuck you want to feel, whenever. But sometimes I know for me, when I'm upset about something, I'm like, well, nothing. I don't want anything then. Like, I'm just going to be like, ugh, and feel that for like a day or so, and then adapt and find those like compromises and those things that you can do that they're not the same. And sometimes it's like, I don't know, tofurkey. I'd rather have a salad. I don't want fake turkey. So make a salad or make something else. Have a pie. Do something that maybe it's not recreating something that's impossible to recreate right now, but maybe doing like, hey, this is our off the cuff one, like a new weird tradition, doing trivia with friends and that kind of stuff.
So for me, this is my first time that I won't be spending holidays with my family at all, period. Like I won't see them except for through Zoom. And I've spent every holiday with them my whole life. And so I decided that since I won't be, but just to say, like, Thanksgiving, we spent the whole day together, and I didn't really feel like I was missing out because I like ordered food and Megan had brought me food, and it still felt special. So for Christmas, I decided like I'm just I ordered. It's very bougie of me, but I ordered. Well,
if they haven't learned this about you yet, are they fucking kidding?
I ordered lobster from Maine that will be sent straight to me the day after it's killed. So I could have got it live, but I decided not to get it live. But it's coming from Maine. And I got it because like I love seafood, but like half of the children in my family are allergic to it, so they can't have it. So I know that's not something I'm missing out from because I wouldn't be able to have it with them anyway.
That's really smart.
So yeah, so that's like what I'll be doing. I'll be having lobster mac and cheese and lobster bisque and lobster knuckle and what else? There's more. Scallops and shrimp and like I got a whole feast.
It sounds like you did get a value pack. I also just want to say you don't know the reference you made, but everybody that you just made the most like natural, like you are the Sharpay Evans. You just made from High School Musical, and she has a song like but there's one's like lobster imported from Maine.
Really?
Yes, and I literally was like. I did my ADHD thing when I don't want to interrupt, where I like put a finger down and being like, you have to say the thing. Oh my God, that made that. But no, it's true. Like coming up with those new kind of traditions and that stuff. I think it's when you take away and like when you add on, like when you can spend all day with like your family and friends on Zoom and stuff, you can get that family aspect of it. And then when it comes to like the tradition part, I don't recreate it unless that seems fun to you to attempt. But otherwise, like I think if we can take what we can get from those situations, like I can have this one out, like this time where I can like hang out and like this will be great. But like I'm not going to fucking attempt to make something that like is what we normally eat because it's not going to be the same and it won't make me feel good. So like let me have an excuse to do this and I'll do like X, Y, and Z instead. Or even like we did turkey for Thanksgiving because I wanted to. But like Monts was like low key stoked to not have to eat turkey. Granted, I made him eat turkey, but we ate turkey with like Nando's hot sauce.
Now that you say that, I think he sabotaged on purpose.
You are right. You are right. I don't know why I trusted him. No, that's not it. I don't know why not even believed him. I don't know why I didn't question the fact that I took a shower, shaved my fucking legs, like applied moisturizer. Like, I don't even think I didn't do my hair or anything like that. But like, I told him to check the temperature and then come to me. If I was in the shower, I was like, just come in and then tell me what it is. Once the timer goes off, come tell me the temperature. And I didn't follow up with him. And then I like went out into the kitchen and I like my hair's all brushed, I'm all showered. And he was like, oh, it was the same temperature. And I was like, oh, okay. No, Megan, the turkey's not the same fucking temperature. But our oven is so like wonky that I was like, I guess that could have happened if it just like suddenly turned off and back on. Of course not. Of fucking course not. But yeah, find your lobster. Oh, and that's cute because it's also in Friends where it's like, that's your lobster.
Yeah, but that's kind of sad too.
Why? Because lobsters...
No, because like I'm alone and like in the sense that I don't have like, I'll be eating lobster, but I don't have like a man.
Okay, so find a lobster, not your lobster.
Yes. And
don't watch The Lobster. I wouldn't say it's the holiday movie.
No. I'm going to watch Mariah Carey's Christmas special, Wonder Woman, and then, because it comes out that day.
Yeah.
And then that other movie, whatever it's called, Holiday? No. So
the Happiest Season.
Happiest Season, yeah.
I wouldn't end on that.
Yeah, I'm starting with that.
Okay.
Probably ending with Mariah.
Okay. I'm like, of course. Yeah. Are you going to watch, do you like Casey Musgraves?
Actually, when I was into my sad girl coffee house music, I did, but I couldn't tell you anything from any new music.
Her new music is great, but it's if you miss the country Taylor, she's like Taylor's. No, I'm not gonna say that. She's like country, but like on acid and like Stand by the Gays.
Okay.
She's like her earliest songs were very much like open on like, you know, like talking about like gay couples very early on and also like weeds, and she did acid for her whole last album, and she's like, yeah, I got inspiration from just doing like a ton of acid, and she's very cool, but she has a Christmas special. And it's like, it's like Kyle's dream. It's like expensive and glitter and pink and so cute. I loved it. I mean, I need to watch it again.
I hate
but
expensive and pink things.
She's lying. she's really lying. Fucking bitch who ordered lobster. She's lying.
It's my treat to myself because I can't. Instead of a plane ticket,
you don't have to justify it.
Instead of a plane ticket, I bought lobster, and I'm not sitting in a pink chair.
Oh yeah, that might be one that people don't know. But I'm like, no, you do not hate pink. Well, I guess this episode is coming out after.
Yeah, but I think it's still applicable because I feel like the holiday season lasts.
Yeah.
Past Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Still got New Year's.
Oh God! Truthfully, this is the greatest. This is the only good thing that they've done for us is gotten rid of any fucking New Year's parties. I hate New Year's.
I usually, because my mom's birthday is on the 2nd, so I'm usually just still in Arkansas spending it with my mom.
Yeah, but then I hate New Year's parties.
Oh yeah,
I hate the young.
I hate how people feel like it's like everything's going to change with like, especially because like this year it's just going to be a shit show, like rolling over and starting to clean up the mess. But people think that like they have to completely change as soon as the year drops, and then everybody's trying to like out-ho everybody to get the wholeness out for like for the end of the year. And then,
nobody's a worse person in the week before before New Year's.
And so then they're like trying to get it all out, like as if like the new year means anything to like,
as if someone's keeping score.
Yeah.
I hate it. I actually hate it. And then everybody is too overly fucking nice for that whole week. And they email you so much being like, let's have coffee. Like, let's start a new project. And I'm like, get away.
I was trying to find an address for something, and I remember somebody that I had emailed with they worked there. So I figured it had been in their signature, which is that's how I found it. But like their last email was from like 2018 at the end. And they're like, let's connect after the new year. Let's get coffee. But that is how everyone is.
Yes.
But at
I
least
hate it.
this time. I mean, people still try to do virtual coffees and shit, but
God, I hate that. It's like people get mad because I hate people like the gym rats who are like, obviously before now, we're like, oh, I hate New Year's because everyone who doesn't work out comes here and clogs it. And I go, no. I love that time. I love that time. And like, especially like when it's like people who are like, when that like, because like endorphins, like if you want to be in the gym, like that's a time when people are going because they want to go and not because they feel obligated to go. And like, it is just happier. Like it is just a happier time in like a gym because everybody is like, I don't know. And it's like, I like that time, but that's the only fucking time that I like that optimism and that fucking earnestness.
Also, lots of free deals for... Remember when we were gym hopping last?
Oh, that was it like all January. Like we just like
in January. Free.
Give me the free, give me the free, give. That was our literally like our hobby for a while. It was just being like, so if we do this free, we do like extreme couponing, but for like fancy gyms in LA. Hey, you can do it, guys. It's not hard.
All right. Well, this is a super long episode. And we wanted to it's our last treat of the year.
Yeah, and
it's our earnestness and being nice for the end of the year.
So don't get fucking used to it. We're gonna be donezo. No, but we love you all and we really appreciate all of you. This is like my favorite. I mean, Megan, it's the only thing you do. I do other stuff sometimes. I'm arguing with myself. This is like my favorite. Not only is this actually, yes, it's one of my favorite things. This is like the thing that I am like the most proud of that I do and that we've done. I love that we've created something that exists beyond us. And that is something that what started off as a podcast of us, like listening to people's like crazy problems and things like that has turned into a community of people who want to help other people and like want to be there for other people and just, And I love it. And especially during this year, it's been such a wonderful thing that I look forward to. And it's been, we love you guys and we appreciate you. And I can't get more into my feels because it makes me uncomfortable.
I'll let Megan have all the feelings for this because feelings make me very, very uncomfortable.
These are your Aquarius sun and my Aquarius rising. I'm like, okay. Well, guys, if you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you could leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. International listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. We ask that you keep it under 3 minutes. Write it down, practice, so you get all your information in there, and we're not left being like, I want to know, why don't we know this? What's this? What's this? Give us as many details as possible, and most of the time, we don't need to know how big someone's dick is, unless you have extra time, and then, for sure, tell us. But get more descriptive. Paint a picture for us. Send it to... No, I'm kidding. And if you want to watch the video version, we're on Patreon. Or if you want to support our show, we would appreciate it so much. We do live streams there twice a month. Our Facebook group is open. And if you want to follow us on Instagram or any of our socials, they're always listed in the description or the show notes, wherever you are listening or watching this. And buy my book, buy my presets, and...
check out my other podcasts.
Oh, which one do you want to promote?
All of them.
None. She just wants you to go to her Instagram and then click on her bio because that's where they all are.
Yep. Thank you.
We
Megan.
don't talk all the time.
One time I'll at some point I'll finally get a website together with everything in one place.
Squarespace.
I'm working on changing the name for my company. That's why.
Ooh.
So it's not just Melisa Diamond Monts Incorporated.
That's long too.
Yeah.
Why don't you do MDMA?
Because I still have to get not MDMA, but
I know that's why it's a joke.
I still have to get the paperwork is literally right here, and even if I just do MDM, then I still have to change it, but I'm changing it to imprint media, so then we have imprint.
Oh my god!
Everywhere. Yeah,
you just unfroze, thawed a little bit of my cold frozen heart. That's so cute.
Yeah.
What else? Fuck, I had something else to say.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. Oh, I was going to say Squarespace, please sponsor our show because we use you for our, I use you for my website. We also use you for our podcast website. And hi.
Please.
Or Wix. I'll switch over. I'm kidding, Squarespace. I love you. Unless Wix, you are listening. But Squarespace, if you're listening, ignore what I just said. Okay, guys. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me, executive produced by Melissa D. Monts, edited by Katrina Henning, and music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go Network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.